Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL. Great to be with you again this wonderful night. It is Monday, September 26th, the beginning of the week. If you're new to IFYL, you're going to see a QR code at the top right-hand corner of the screen. Just take your phone, point to that QR code, and it'll bounce you over to my link tree. If you have any problems getting over to my link tree, just go to Believe, B-E-L-I-E-V-E, me, achieve, A-C-H-I-E-V-E.com. That'll get you over to John's Daily National Day Video, JCM Academy, TikTok, John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur, YouTube channel, and lots of other great stuff. So you definitely want to check this out. There's so much there. So we have a lot to share with you tonight in our show. But before I do, I want to welcome back our friends, colleagues, and associates that have been with us for so very long. Really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here. And hopefully some of the new people will become loyal, just like all of you have been for so long. And you know how we roll. We start on a Saturday and we end on a Friday. And yes, we are going to get into that master topic. John, what is that master topic? How to break that habit series, episode number 3. All right. So maybe you're in a family and somebody wants you to break a habit. It could be something as simple as pulling up your socks, or maybe it's the fact that you're biting your nails, whatever it is. How do you break a bad habit? I mean, it usually drives people crazy, significant others, partners, etc. How do you break that bad habit? Oh, gosh. And the thing is, how do you break the habit without getting under somebody's skin and saying, hey, you really bother me. You're driving me crazy. And I think what it comes down to is habits happen without our awareness. And when they go on autopilot, which is what a habit is, it becomes part of our life. And so to break it is not that easy, because you first have to become conscious of what it is you're doing. Now, if you're not conscious of the habit, then how do you break something you're not conscious of? Well, you can't. You have to understand, first of all, what the habit is, what you're doing, and then how could you break it? Well, when you're conscious of it, I would tell you to write it down. Maybe it's something as simple as, you're pulling up your socks. We'll get a pad and write down on a pad every time you pull up your socks. And you're like, so you're conscious of it. Well, how do I break that habit? Well, get socks that have better elastics, right? But maybe it's not the elastic. Maybe it's just a habit. So how do you do that? Well, it becomes more of a process as you need to understand why you're doing it. You're doing it because you got into a routine. So to stop it, you need to figure out what else you could do every time you were going to pull up your socks. Well, maybe instead of pulling up your socks, maybe you might do something like straighten your tie, or you might look straight ahead, right? You're going to divert your attention from something that you currently have, right, to something new. And that's a great way to handle that, right? I think the best way is to understand that these habits are things that you and I may not be aware of. And because we're not aware of them, we don't realize they're going on in our life. We don't realize they're going on in our life, right? Thinking about a habit, thinking about why that habit actually exists, that could be a little challenging. But think about a habit and then think about how you can replace it. Maybe you're a person that, I don't know, maybe you're someone that, let's just say that, you got roped into a habit, but you don't necessarily know how you got into the habit, right? You don't know how you got into it. But when you're conscious of a habit, it starts to mean something to you. Starts to mean something to you. When you're not conscious of it, it's like, oh, it's no big deal. I'll just do it. And it's not a big deal, right? But when you're conscious of the habit, then it suddenly takes on a whole new meaning. But most people don't become conscious of their habits. They don't. Why? I think it's because they don't understand how they're actually becoming a part of your life. A habit. So let's talk about another kind of habit. So another one might be somebody that's smoking, right? And ball players for years, were doing chewing tobacco. So what they do now, they gave them bubble gum, double bubble gum, so they could actually replace that habit. So replacing a habit is a great way to break a habit, right? Sometimes people that are not smoking will suddenly eat instead of smoke, but then they build another bad habit, which is to eat too much, right? So how is it that we become aware of the habit and then get out of the habit? So another habit that happens is maybe you're someone that always cuts off people in sentences. And so maybe your friend said, hey, when you do that, make sure you tell me about it. Play like, hey, you're doing it again. Oh, I am? Yeah. Oh, sorry. And they become conscious of the fact that, oh, gee, I just interrupted you 3 times. I didn't know I was doing that. It starts to impress upon somebody how important it is to break a habit when they see how much that they're actually in the habit. Because some people don't think that really it matters, but it does matter. It matters a whole lot. It matters a whole lot. I think the best way to break a habit is to replace it. But we said it's important that we want to be conscious of the habit, right? We want to be conscious of the habit. So being conscious is important, right? Being conscious is really important. Why? Why are habits such a problem? Because they affect how you are in life. Habits. Good habits are great. Bad habits are not good. Maybe you have a bad habit, and that bad habit is that you listen to music at like decibel levels that are off the charts. How do you break that? Of course, somebody could impress upon you the fact that listening to music at very high decibels could damage your eardrums. But is that enough? Some people maybe don't care. How else can you remove a habit? You can reward the person by saying, hey, if you don't listen to your music at the high level and you listen to it at least at this level or lower, I'll give you an allowance or I'll give you a treat or something like that. And that does motivate people to want to be able to change. Because, see, that's really what we're changing. We're not changing the person, ladies and gentlemen. We are changing the habit. We're changing the behavior. The behavior. So it's really important that when somebody has a habit, maybe somebody has a pen tapping habit. You've probably seen this. And they keep clicking the pen on, off like this, on or off screen. And this can be really annoying. Or they do this. And that can be annoying too. So do you just go up to them and say, stop it? No, because they're probably going to keep doing it. See, they're not going to realize, oh, I don't do that often. I only do it once in a while. You've been doing it every minute for the last hour. No, I haven't. I only did it once. He's been doing it for the whole hour, hasn't he? Every minute, whole hour. So when you become unconscious of it, then it's like it just happens. Have you ever drove before and you're on the highway and suddenly, that trip was 2 or 3 hours? It's like, oh, wow, I didn't realize it was 2 or 3 hours, and then you're suddenly there. That's why it's important when you're driving you're conscious of things going on, but you're also not involved in every moment of the drive. You're paying attention to things, but you're losing track of time while you drive, listening to music or the temperature in your car. You're starting to embrace that. So if you can embrace a bad habit and say, okay, I'm doing this. All right, fine, I'm doing this. How do I stop this bad habit? I think the best way to stop it is to replace it, is to be cognizant of it. So you can be cognizant of something by writing it down, by having someone else point it out to you, right? Another way that you can stop a habit is to meditate. And you can get past your critical faculties and into the mind, and then share what it is you want to change. Because once you get past the critical faculties, your brain's like this sieve and it wants to learn everything, right? The problem is that our critical faculties are always analyzing, should I do this? Should I not do this? Like, what's going to happen if I do this? What's going to happen if I don't do this? So it's like you're always second guessing yourself, right? I think that happens every single day. But what is it that makes somebody want to understand a habit? I think what makes people want to understand is that sometimes they annoy people. Another thing that makes people want to understand is that they want to change the habit. They wish the habit was something else, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. That's a healthy thing to do. Maybe you have a bad habit that every time you get up to play ball. I mean, this is something I remember many years ago. Some of my friends, they get up to play ball, and every time they struck out, they'd curse. Like it was like a habit, right? And that's not a great habit to have. So as they get older and they miss something, they'd still use those same 3-4 letter words, right? Because that's how they are. And what do people say? Oh, excuse my French. Well, it's not French. They're just being, kind of funny about it. Habits. Bad habits cause us to become less of who we really are. So breaking a habit is very similar to reverse engineering something. Well, what's making that habit have life? What's making that habit take charge? What? And if you don't know what it is, well, then I think you've got to learn. And I think you want to be curious about the habit, right? Be curious about the habit. The reason I say to be curious about the habit is because when you're curious, you'll be like, oh, that's pretty neat. I didn't know I could do it that way. Or I didn't know that I could change this. Right? You didn't know you could change it. But you can. You can. You absolutely can change it. Habits. Maybe you're in the habit of being nasty to people because you learned it from other people. Not a great habit. It's a bad habit. How do you break it? You be conscious, like, okay, now before I react, let me take a deep breath. Let me say, okay, I know I'm not happy about this. Okay, I'm going to just take my time. Okay, let me think about what I'm going to say first. Because remember, what you say, you can't take back. I think I've said that before, at least a million times. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, been a pleasure, been an honor to be with you this amazing evening. I hope you'll like, love, and support my channel. Of course, go ahead and comment below. What kind of bad habits do you want to remove from your life or change or replace? Then tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure to go ahead and go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space MORLEY Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. And make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team a savory slice of watermelon, or a refreshing vanilla cone, or a nice icy cold pop. Either way, we'll be grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content to empower and fuel the change of your life, if that's what you really want. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And you know what? I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for another episode. Have a good one, everyone. Take care.